Welcome, everyone, to the Firing the Man podcast. On today's episode, we will be discussing Walmart. Ken and I have been selling on Walmart for 12 months now and have some key takeaways, some lessons learned. We'll also be going through a launch checklist if you decide to go into Walmart fulfillment services. Ken, what's going on, man?
David, in the podcast studio today, excited to share, our experiences with Walmart Marketplace with the audience, and just deliver, a ton of value. I know we focus on Amazon quite a bit. It's kind of the core of our business, but expanding out into Walmart has been huge. We're seeing good gains, and as you're about to share here in the outlook, like Walmart's a gorilla, man. So, David, what do you think? What's the outlook on Walmart?
Absolutely. So in the past we've talked about sales channel expansion, and we've experienced that on our own, right? We've went into Etsy, we've went into eBay, and to be honest, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze for most of our brands in those smaller sales channel. Now, when COVID hit, Walmart made very significant investment into Walmart fulfillment services and Walmart online. And I do believe, and I'm going to lay out some macroeconomic factors here, that Walmart will be different. And from our experiences, it has been different. So let's start with why Walmart, why I think it's a good play. So we've all heard of Fortune 500 companies. And what that is it's a measure of revenue. It's the 500 largest companies in terms of revenue. Now, you know who Fortune 1 is? It's Walmart. Walmart is the biggest company in the world on this Fortune list. And just for some context, they did $524 billion in 2021. Now, Amazon, they're a Fortune 3 company, and they came in at $281 billion. So, there's a saying, it takes money to make money, and Walmart has money. They're big. They're all over. There's a stat out there. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but you are always, wherever you're at in the U.S., you're always within a short drive of Walmart. And I can say, living in small town Missouri, Walmarts are everywhere. And so, I think if there's anything that we've learned over the last 50 years is don't bet against Walmart. They have just found a way to make it happen. And so, I also think they have some strategic advantages over and above, say, like an eBay. And I'm going to illustrate this with an example. In 2021, Amazon's biggest problem was they didn't have enough space, right? COVID hit, you saw a lot of brick and mortar retailers going into e-commerce, and Amazon got overwhelmed and they ran out of space. And they hit us with inventory restrictions, and it was a mess. And so in the US, Amazon has 110 distribution centers. Do you know who has 210? Walmart. And so, I think that from an infrastructure standpoint, Walmart really has a leg up on Amazon. And so, if you look at, and that's only their fulfillment centers, they also have thousands of brick and mortar entities that have logistics going back and forth throughout all of them. And so, you can now place an order on Walmart.com and go pick it up at the store. And as we see this type of shopping trending in this direction, you see it a lot with like groceries. It's also, that's great. That's how my family does groceries now. It's great. You just scroll on your phone and pick out what you want. And so anyway, I think as we see this shift into this type of shopping, Walmart is going to be a really good play. So, one of the last things I want to comment on is on why I think Walmart's a particularly good play is the number of sellers on the platform. So if we look at Amazon, they have 2 million sellers worldwide. And if you look at Walmart, they have 130,000 sellers. And so while the marketplace may not be as big as Amazon, if you look at the marketplace size per seller, it is bigger. And I think that creates more opportunity for people to get on this early. And so you hear the phrase jumping in at the ground floor. I really do believe that this is the ground floor for Walmart. Of course, they've been around for a while. Their .com has been around for a while, but you're really starting to see it ramp up. And, as we'll get into on, the rest of this episode, it's been a good play. I have no remorse about the effort and the investment that we've made in Walmart in 2021, and curious to hear your thoughts, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple stats I want to revisit for the audience. And you mentioned, David, when we pulled the stats here, Amazon had 110 distribution centers in the U.S. and Walmart has 200 distribution centers in the U.S. Probably more. They probably both have more. They're expanding so much with CapEx. One stat here, it says Walmart has 10,500 stores in 24 countries. 4,700 of them are in the U.S. And so I would also say that Walmart has that leg up on Amazon, right? They have over 4,700 stores in the U.S. And so if anybody knows Walmart, they know that Walmart is really good at logistics, and I can guarantee you they are factoring in those stores on their last mile delivery and their marketplace. And so whenever they figure that out, it's going to be, I think it's going to make them jump leaps ahead of work. It's going to be a hockey stick of them catching up to Amazon when they can figure that piece out. And the last bit is so back in the day, I was doing a research project in school and on the Waltons, and one of the sayings was stack them high and watch them buy. And so that kind of tells you that their arms are open. They want their marketplace to grow, and they want to bring as many products and as many sellers in as they can to offer their customers, which is one of the largest customer bases in the world, any product they want to buy. And so for that reason, I really like our odds on Walmart. And you had mentioned, David, still at kind of the ground floor. It's very rudimentary. So let's just get right into it. So like David mentioned earlier, we've been on Walmart for a little over 12 months now, and it's been a process. So we're going to kind of run through here. David and I are going to kind of popcorn back and forth. We're going to run through our process that we took to kind of get on Walmart, get everything in, get the listing set up, kind of A to Z. So I'll go over the signing up piece, and then I'll kick it over to David for a bit. So signing up, and also I want to mention, David and I, we created a quick PDF download, and it's on our website at firingdemand.com/Walmart. And so if you're driving, if you're listening to this and, you can't grab this or you can't take any notes, just when you get home, when you get to where you're going or whatever, just, go to the website, get this PDF download. It has all hyperlinks into everything you need on Walmart to sign up. So for, step one, signing up. So you got to go to, walmart.com, the hyperlinks in our download. You sign up, you fill out, there's a minimal information. You fill it out, and then, you have to wait 2 to 4 weeks. And during that sign up process, you're going to need quite a bit of stuff. I'm just going to run through them really quick. Your U.S. business tax ID. You're going to need an EIN verification letter, W-9 or W-8, a physical address or a place of where your physical operations are, U.S. business address, and a planned integration method for your product catalog. Meaning you're going to have to tell Walmart, are you going to do bulk upload files? Do you an API connection with your software provider, or do you have a 3PL, or how are you going to get your connection and your listings going on Walmart? And then they also want to know your product categories. What's the size of your catalog? Maybe your total SKUs, and they just want to kind of give a snapshot of your what kind of you're bringing to the table, so they can see if you're a good fit or not. David, what's next steps?
Yeah, so once you're accepted into the Walmart.com program, you start setting up your listings. And what I'll say about Walmart listings is they're very similar to Amazon, right? You've got your hero image, you've got your supplementary images, you have bullet points, which you're loading up with keywords. And, you can do all of this through flat file uploads. And Ken, we used an integration. What did we use to get our listings from Amazon into Walmart?
Yeah, so we did a flat file. We downloaded them and we integrated them with a flat file upload for Walmart.
Awesome. Okay. And so, once we did that, there was a little bit of maintenance that needed to happen. There are, just as an example, the number of characters you can use in your title and your bullet points. There's different attributes. And so it wasn't a perfect integration, but I would say that, 70% of things translated. And, one thing that I really liked about their platform is they have something called the listing quality dashboard, and it gives each listing a grade, and it will tell you what changes you need to make to get that listing to 100%. And so it kind of takes some of the guesswork out of it. And I also like using this because that is feedback directly from Walmart, right? Like on Amazon, we use a Helium 10 tool, and it will look at what Amazon says, and then it'll interpret that. But you're kind of going through a third party to get that feedback. The listing quality dashboard's directly from Walmart. And so I think that type of feedback is really helpful. And so I would say if you look at the amount of time that this took, it was a lot faster than a new product launch. And what we did is when we integrated, we took our best products over first. And so that's something that I think as business owners you need to decide, do I grow my business by adding new products or adding new sales channels? And I would argue that it's a little bit easier to add new sales channels, especially if there's an opportunity like this with Walmart where you've already paid for the listing, you've already paid for the keyword research, you've already paid for the photos, and there's just a little bit of legwork in getting that into the format that Walmart likes. So that's a little bit on the setup. Ken, can you talk about the inventory piece of this?
Yeah, absolutely. So before we move to inventory, a couple things on the setup that issues that our team and us we found and kind of fixed, and just to save the listeners the hassle. When you're setting up, if you're setting up your product IDs with a flat file, then, or if you're setting up your inventory, your listings with a flat file, they're called a product ID. Instead of like on Amazon, it's an ASIN. It's called a product ID on Walmart. And in the flat file, the very first product ID is going to be the parent. Let's say you sell hoodies and you have 12 variations of hoodies, small, medium, and large, and maybe 3 colors of each. If you have the one that's like probably your best seller on Amazon, it's probably going to be your best seller on Walmart. And so I would recommend putting that one first on the flat file because it's going to be your parent ID. And when you go to run PPC, right now on Walmart, you can only run PPC to the parent ID. And that's the one that's going to show up for an ad. So just kind of a pro tip there. Awesome. So moving into inventory, this is kind of going to be each seller is going to have their own process here. Are you going to do seller fulfilled? Are you going to use a 3PL such as Deliver? Or you can use Walmart's WFS. And so most of our brands use WFS. We do have a 3PL on one of the brands because there are some products that WFS does not allow in their warehouses. So you definitely want to check on that if your products are going to be allowed, in Walmart's warehouses. Maybe there's, harmful chemicals or who knows. Just check that. And so if out of the gate you want to use WFS, WFS is comparable to Amazon's FBA. And so when we say WFS, it's Walmart Fulfillment Services. And it's like I said, it's just like FBA. And if you know you're going to use that, I would, as soon as your account gets approved and you log into your Walmart, go ahead and at the very top of the dashboard, there's a WFS button. I would go ahead and click there and apply because there's a waiting period. And I know most of our brands, we have 3 brands on Walmart right now, and the waiting period was anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to one of them took 12 weeks. And again, this was probably 12 months ago that we had applied, so they might be quicker now. It might take longer. I'm not certain, but if you know you're going to be in WFS, I would do that right away. Apply for WFS. They just they're going to want to know, about your products, your velocity, certain questions, so they know if you're, can be accepted into WFS or not, if you're a good fit. Or, if you're a high velocity seller, they're going to want to probably get you in quick and say, yeah, they're going to make money on you, so they're going to want to accept you. And some of the benefits, some of the pros and cons on, WFS versus seller fulfilled versus 3PL. With WFS, you get a 2-day delivery. And it also says, it's fulfilled by Walmart, which is, according to Walmart, is kind of their, their marketing material, if you will. It says that it increases conversions by 30 to 50%, which that's a huge number, and that's not anything to ignore. And so you have to really take that in consideration when you're, saying, oh, I can fulfill these myself. Well, you might do that at the detriment of sales velocity and revenue for your business. And so it is huge. Think about that. If you're an Amazon seller and you use FBA, you know what the conversion rates are compared to seller fulfilled. And so it's likely about the same on Walmart. And their rates, we've checked rates across all of our brands, and they're very similar to FBA. Some of them are cheaper. Some of them are the same. Some of them are a little bit more, but they're very comparable. They're definitely pretty efficient. The other method is seller fulfilled, which we talked about. Then you'll have to set your own shipping rates, your own shipping time, and you're going to be held to those standards by Walmart. So if that's the route you're going, but again, this is a business case. You're going to want to put all the data out there. What's it going to cost you to ship it? What's the timeline, and then really measure that against conversion rates and see what's the best for your business. Another option is 3PL, using a 3PL, and there's several that we use Deliver, and they have an API connection into Walmart's portal. And so, Walmart orders come in, and it connects directly into Deliver's software, and Deliver ships out. And I believe Deliver at the time this is airing, I think they have 23 warehouses in the U.S., and so they offer 2 and 3 day badging, and so you can still get the that 2-day badge on your listing, which really helps conversion rates. So next one is PPC.
So Ken, you've been pretty involved in the PPC on Walmart. Can you tell us about it? What do you like? What do you not like?
Yeah, absolutely. So PPC on Walmart, I would say it's very rudimentary. It's very, very basic right now, and it's evolving. And so if you're familiar with, I'll kind of compare it to Amazon, in terms of complexity. Let's say Amazon's at an 8 right now. Walmart would be at like a 2. It's very, very simple and basic. It's very easy to operate. So there's one key difference, and we'll cover it first, is Walmart advertising is not an auction and it's you pay what you bid. And so we'll break it down in a couple of examples. If you're selling a coffee mug on Amazon, and that keyword for large coffee mug, you want to bid $2.75 on that. And the winning bid might be, the second place bid might be $1.71. And so Amazon would charge you $1.72, and you would win that bid, right? Even though you bid $2.75, you would win that bid at $1.72. So on Walmart, if you bid, let's say 3 competitors, one competitor bid $1, one bid $1.27, and you bid $2.75, you would pay $2.75, and you would get that placement. And so that is crucial to think about. So moving on, so Walmart right now, they only have auto and manual campaigns, and the auto campaigns, they're very basic. They do have bid placement. They've added bid placement, so you can increase for, if you want, top of page, product detail page, headline. So you can test different placements with modifiers. The manual, you can only bid on, and this is definitely different than Amazon. Right now, currently in Walmart, you can only bid on keywords if your listing is ranked in the top 28 positions organically for that keyword, meaning you can't launch on Walmart right now and build up manual campaigns with 10 or 20 keywords and just bid on them and win. You can't do that. You have to have an auto campaign. Your product has to be organically ranking in 128 positions, and unless you have just this amazing product that people are just automatically searching for and buying, you're going to have to run auto campaigns and really get those clicks for those keywords to get you ranking, and then filter those keywords over into your manual campaigns. So it's very basic. Lots of differences than Amazon. Kind of the method that we're doing with our PPC is that we're starting really slow and methodical. We're not coming out with massive PPC budgets. The minimum bids are, I think, 20 cents for auto and 30 cents for manual. And so we're just coming in on low bids and really finding out what's working, what's ranking, and then scaling from there. Unless you have a massive marketing budget that you want to blow through, I would recommend starting slow and really building up, because on Walmart you can really waste a lot of money on advertising if you're not careful.
Yes, you can. And we learned that very early on. Now, Ken, you hear a lot about Amazon cost per click going up. What has been, in terms of like competitiveness for keywords, what has been our experience with competitiveness on Walmart?
Yeah, I would say we mentioned some of the stats earlier with different sellers, and it really depends on your space. Two of our brands, there's not very many competitors on Walmart, and so we're winning a lot of these minimum bids at 20 cents, and so it's really nice. One of the brands, it's in a more competitive space, and so it's really going to depend on which space you're in, which niche. But I can tell you one thing: there's not as much competition on Walmart than there is on Amazon, and so let's say, for example, and again, this is different for all niches, but if you're paying $2 for a keyword on Amazon, you might pay 75 cents on Walmart right now. And so it's a lot different. There's a lot of opportunity there right now.
Absolutely. Now let's transition our conversation over to just kind of some of the other miscellaneous things that we really like about Walmart. I would characterize Walmart as kind of the Wild West right now. And I'm going to recall a certain phone call that you and I had. You called me and you said, "Hey, I'd like to buy some reviews on Walmart." And I was like, whoa, Ken. We don't do black hat tactics. A clean conscience is a comfortable pillow. And you said, no. On the WFS portal, they have approved vendors for incentivized reviews, right? You pay for the reviews, and then they give you honest feedback. And, that is something that not only is it against the terms of service on Walmart, but you can get your account shut down pretty easily doing this. And, I think from Walmart's perspective, as the more I think about this, it does make sense, right? They want a good shopping experience for their customers. And part of that shopping experience is having feedback from a peer group of people that have gotten that product, that have bought that product. And so I think that, with the marketplace kind of being in its infancy, there was probably a lack of reviews. And that was damaging the customer experience. And so it makes sense that they would put a program in like this. But boy, did we jump on that. And it was great. It was really great. And I think, we saw an initial uptick there with, some of our competitors that had 0 reviews, and, we're getting them the old fashioned way. Yeah. So I'll kick it over to you. What have been some other things that you've liked about Walmart?
Yeah, sure. So to kind of cover up, to circle back on the product review, we've actually tested 2 programs, and one of them, like you mentioned, David, it was on the portal on WFS, and when I saw it, if you're on Amazon, you're familiar with Vine, and so this program on Walmart is similar to Vine, in that except there's no cap. So right now you could actually order 10,000 reviews if you want to, and so that's been a huge help for us launching, as well as we're testing another program they have. I don't feel comfortable giving stats yet, but
it's working really well, and that is a syndication program that we're testing. We'll have to do a follow up on that, but the initial test was pretty amazing. So more to come on that. Another thing that was really helpful, and this is something as you're launching on Walmart, to try to get there's a thing called a pro seller badge, and there's 4 statistics that Walmart is looking at, and once you meet the criteria, you get this pro seller badge. Walmart says it increases conversions up to 20%, which we've seen an uptick since we've had the pro seller badge. The 4 criteria to get this pro seller badge: your delivery defects need to be below 10%, have less than 2% of cancellations, you need to have more than 100 orders in 90 days, and 70% of your catalog needs a listing quality score above 60%. Like David mentioned earlier in the show, Walmart has a listing quality score, and so you definitely want to make sure your catalog, all your listings are up to par. But I would definitely say make that one of your top priorities as you're launching into Walmart to get that pro seller badge. David, what's your next pro tip?
I would say they have a similar type brand registry program as Amazon, and they call it the Walmart Brand Portal. And what this allows you to do is any trademarks that you have or any other intellectual property patents, you can put that in there and you can apply for content ownership. And I really like this because you make significant investment in time and money going into a new marketplace. And there's, say what you want, but there's no police, there's not a great mechanism for policing what happens online. And you hear about it all the time as people getting their listings ripped off, counterfeit sellers. And so I like that, from the get-go, Walmart is protecting its sellers. And so, we had went through the brand registry process for our own brands on Amazon. And so rolling that into Walmart there's really not a lot of additional steps. It also gives you some benefits, right? The enhanced brand content, and some of the ways that you can beef up your listings that improve conversion rate.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing to speak on this a little bit is the content ownership. Once you have this brand portal, if you have a trademark or a patent, it's basically you can take ownership of that listing and lock it. And so we had a lot of, when we went on Walmart initially, there were other sellers selling our products. They were drop shipping them from Amazon is what we suspected. And so when we got the brand portal registry for all of our IP, we were able to go in and lock these listings and get rid of essentially hijackers. Now, you can't get rid of a reseller because it's legal to buy something and resell it. But what you can do is that they can't compete with you on price, right? And so when you come in at your normal price, they'll fade away. But locking the listing just for your brand to update was huge, and as well as the listing gets updated faster. So Walmart is still playing catch up on their back end, their database, but and so sometimes the updates can take a while, but once you have that content ownership, we've noticed the listings are updated like 15-30 minutes. So it's great. One last thing before I kick it over to David for a final thought. As David and I were trying to figure out, okay, expansion versus all these different ways to grow our companies, we've seen opportunity in Walmart and as a marketplace, and the competition is not as fierce as Amazon. And so you can think, I can launch more products on Amazon, or you can take your existing catalog and go to Walmart. And so, to me, like really sit down and think about that and make a business case. What do you think's better? Competing on Amazon with another product with all the other competitors, or going to another marketplace where there's more opportunity? David, can you speak to maybe the potential and growth of Walmart, like over the next 3 to 5 years? What do you think?
Absolutely. I think it's a tremendous opportunity, and it really wasn't until the pandemic started that you started to see very heavy investment from Walmart into their .com presence. And so, I think that we're still getting in at the ground floor. And so, as I look forward over the next 3 to 5 years, I think back to, and we've had some guests on the podcast who talk about selling on Amazon back in like 2005, through 2005 to 2010, where you could launch whatever and you were going to make money. There wasn't the competition, and it was the Wild West, the buying reviews, writing reviews for your own products. I mean, and so I really think that this is an opportunity, to get in at the ground floor in this kind of Wild West stage. I think Walmart online will be much more mature in 3 to 5 years, and getting in early, I think there's going to be tremendous benefit. The other thing that I will add is when you look at market share, Amazon, I really don't think Amazon can get that much bigger in terms of, if you look at who has it reached. I think during the pandemic, previously, say, like a senior citizen would not have even considered buying something online. But because of the pandemic, now they're part of e-commerce. You see all, people in all walks of life buying things online. And so, if I were to go to Vegas and I were to place a bet on will Walmart's market share in the total e-commerce space be larger or smaller in 3 to 5 years, I would 100% take that bet that it will be larger, just because their sheer size. It takes money to make money, and Walmart has a lot of capital to put behind this. And so, the other thing I would say is that there is kind of a different type of customer in Walmart. And so, you may find that you have a product that doesn't sell great on Amazon, but because of this customer avatar of your typical Walmart customer, maybe you get better volume there. And so, as we look back on 2021, I would say if we were to list out probably the top 5 best things that we did, I would say launching in Walmart is definitely on that list. And so, in closing, don't bet against Walmart.
Yeah, and remember, go to www.firingtheman.com/Walmart and download this PDF. It has everything we talked about on the show is on there, links to everything you need. And if you have any questions, hit us up on our website. Go to the About Us page. There's a voice box. You can click on that, send us a voice message. We like helping.
Definitely. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next week.